Good Wednesday morning, my minions. How are we doing today? I trust yesterday, your first day back, went well. Even if you just terribly missed me. Hey, I've already got a really good treat for you guys. I think you guys will like this. I'm at a very, very special place, a place that most of you would not be able to imagine life without. And I'm here. I'm right here. So check this out. Look at that. That's right. YouTube offices. How about that? Woo! Pretty big building too. Anyway, Mrs. Pass and I are getting ready to board a train, not the tube, but a train, a high-speed train, going from London to Canterbury. We're going to be visiting Canterbury Cathedral and the city of Canterbury. And if you don't know the significance of Canterbury, the Archbishop of Canterbury is one of the top. He is the top, isn't he? And the Archbishop of Canterbury is the top of the church under the king or queen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like they're like the closest thing to a pope that the English church has. And we're going to be learning all about that in our upcoming units. But at Canterbury Cathedral, a man named Thomas Becket was martyred. He was murdered, but he was martyred, which means he died for his faith. And it was also the inspiration for Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. And Canterbury Tales were unfinished, but they are considered one of the premier literary works in English literature. And they're actually quite interesting. Some of them may be a little difficult to understand. You probably need to read a modern translation of it, but it's a group of pilgrims, not the pilgrims that founded America, or that landed in America, but pilgrims, people on a pilgrimage, that are they're going on a pilgrimage to Canterbury Cathedral, and they decide to play a game. And each person traveling is going to tell two stories, and they're going to decide at the end of the journey who told the best two stories, and that person gets a big dinner, which at that time would have been a pretty big deal. That would be a good prize. So we're going to go see where all that took place. I believe there's a Canterbury Tales Museum that we're going to visit. We're going to eat lunch at the Thomas Becket pub. I know Mr. Paz is just hitting all the pubs, aren't I? Well, when in London, right? So I'll be back with you a little bit later and make sure that you guys get good shots of Canterbury Cathedral and more explanation as we move along. Everyone say good morning to Mrs. Pass.
Good morning.
Isn't she adorable? Okay, love you guys. I'll see you in just a little bit, okay? Here we are on the train, and we are taking a ride through the English countryside right now. Very, very nice view. Lots of meadows, seeing lots of sheep, lots of cattle. On our way to Canterbury. Okay guys, we just got here into Canterbury. It's about a 40-minute train ride. And check out these old buildings.
Look around the corner.
Oh. Guys, check this out right here. Boom. How cool is that? Oh, nothing. Just a castle gate right there in the street. No problem. All right, I can't wait to explore, but first we got to go get something to eat. I know Mr. Pat's doing a lot of eating this week, aren't I? Anyway, I'll get back with you in a little bit. Okay, so we're actually going to get to walk under the gate here. Actually, we can't go under the gate. That's where the cars go. We're going to go around the tower here. Isn't this neat, though, guys? Check that out. See, this is the really cool thing right here. Is like you can just walk up and touch history. Hundreds and hundreds of years. Just right here at your fingertips.
Keyhole.
Does anybody think they know what these little keyholes are? Those were for the archers. Really cool. All right, I'll get back with you as we get closer to Canterbury Cathedral. So guys, so minions, I want you to take a minute and think about this. I am walking down the street through a medieval town, and it is one of the coolest things I've ever done. I love seeing the buildings. As with everywhere else that we've been, there's a mixture of really old, kind of old, and new, and well, newer.
Yeah.
But this is just really, really cool. All right, well, we're going to step into a store right quick, so I'll be back with you in a little bit. Okay, minions, check this out. This is the Canterbury Pilgrims Hospital of St. Thomas, named for Archbishop Thomas Becket, who lived from 1118 to 1170. This is the Pilgrim's Refectory Chapel. And look how low that door is. You know what? I'm going to get Mrs. Pass. Come here. I'm going to go. No, I'm going to go stand in front of the door. I want them to see how low this door is. Now there is a step down, but look at this.
You're good.
Guys, this place is so cool. So cool. Moving on down, we have a statue of Thomas Becket here.
Oh, no, sorry. This is Jeffrey Chaucer.
Who is this?
Well, it's Chaucer.
Oh, this. Oh, I'm wrong. This is Geoffrey Chaucer. Geoffrey Chaucer, who wrote the Canterbury Tales. This is so very cool to be here and be seeing this. We're walking down the street here in Canterbury, and we're about to go into the Thomas Becket pub. Check out this building behind me here. Nice old wood, and here's the Thomas Becket right there. Now, before we go in, I'm going to ask Mrs. Pass some questions. She doesn't like being on camera, but she's going to have to deal with it. Okay. Number one. how does it feel walking down the streets of Canterbury right now?
I'm almost in tears, actually. I can't believe that we're walking through a medieval city. It's so far out. There's buildings here that are probably close to 1,000 years old, and cobblestone streets, and there's just so much history, and I'm a huge history buff like Michael is, and it's excuse me, Mr. Pass.
Thank you.
It's amazing. It really is, and I'm so lucky to be here. And I can't imagine the people who live here, and they're just walking around like it's an everyday thing. But I'm sure for them it is. But, wow, I haven't stopped smiling since we got here.
Well, I mean, I think she hasn't stopped smiling since she married me, but I think that just goes without saying, doesn't it? So we're going to go in here and eat now. So I'll be back with you in a little bit. Okay? Say goodbye, Mrs. Pass.
Bye.
Okay, so we're in here in the Thomas Becket. My hair is all messed up because I've been wearing a hat today. But check out this place, man. As a matter of fact, I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you guys like the floor and everything. This place is really very neat to be in. So let's check it out. First of all, here in Britain, apparently they like to drink lemon in their Coke, which actually isn't bad. But then you have the pub itself, and just a great little pub. Look at that floor. Look at that flooring. That's just great. And just, just a nice little place to come in and have a pint of Coke and just kind of chill out a little bit. And one of the coolest things is, I'm not going to show you because it would be rude, but over by the fireplace there is an old English gentleman in a sport coat and a sweater vest and a tie, sitting by the fire, reading a book, and it is just like the most iconic thing that, the funny thing is I was just telling Mrs. Pass that if I lived here, that would be me. That would be me sitting there just reading. Speaking of reading, Mrs. Pass and I just made a couple of purchases of some books, and we actually bought a prayer book from the 1800s, and we also bought a commentary on the disciples that was written and published in about 1730, and I'll bring those to school and show you guys. You guys know what kind of a book nerd I am, so this is just
we got old books.
Like these are our souvenirs. Most people get a I love London t-shirt or something like that. We get 200-year-old books, 300-year-old books. So that's the way we roll. We roll like that. So anyway, our food's on the way. We'll get with you after we're done eating and go tour around a little bit, okay? By the way, I miss you guys. See you soon. Okay, guys, so we're heading over toward Canterbury Cathedral right now, and this is the coolest thing. I'm going to turn this around, and I'm going to show you just like where we are, right? So, hold on. Okay, look at this old building right here. And it's now a candy shop, but look at this stonework. Look at the roof beams. Now, check this out. We're going to walk right around this corner and boom, there's Canterbury Cathedral right there. Yeah, just turn the corner and a 1,000-year-old building is just right there. So check out the streets. these nice cobbled streets. This is yet another of Mr. Pass's bucket list that is getting checked off. Look at this gate. This is absolutely fantastic, guys. So I'm going to enjoy a little bit of time with Mrs. Pass walking around in here, and we'll catch you up a little bit later, okay? Guys, look at this. Obviously, got some refurbishment and restoration going on, but this is absolutely beautiful. One of the most well-known, iconic, started out as a Catholic church, now Church of England, after Henry VIII separated England from Catholicism. But just look at that. And look at this detail on the doorways and gates over here. I know I'm not I need to rehearse this stuff and be better at what I'm doing, but you guys have to understand I'm showing you it as I experience it, and this is how I'm experiencing it. Look at this. Simply beautiful. Just inside the initial entrance here at Canterbury Cathedral. And again, reaching out and just touching history. Never really thought I'd get to do that. Okay, this is what inside Canterbury Cathedral. And in a second, I'm going to walk over and give you a better shot of this. But this is a list of the archbishops of Canterbury. And I will go get a little better angle on that. Okay, here's the list of archbishops, and look at this. St. Augustine, AD 597. That means that this building is over 1,400 years old. And they have them all listed all the way down to the 15, 16, 1700s, all the way up until now. Isn't that great? It's continuous lineage recorded there all the way back from 597. There's Cuthbert. Now, if you've ever heard of the King James Bible, this is the tomb of Adrian de Sarvia, who was one of the original translators of the King James Bible. This is amazing. Look at the stained glass up at the top of this window there. So beautiful. Again, these are all tombs and crypts for different people. This is so great, guys. Guys, check out this window. Guys, this is what it looks like to love history and to be moved by what's around us. And you have no idea how thankful I am that I get to share this with my wife and that I get to share it with you. And I hope you're enjoying it. I know I'm not doing a very good job, but I wish I could just bring every one of you over here and just let you experience this. And not just here, but other places. And if I could just help you to feel that about history and about knowledge, literature, science, math, all of these things are so interconnected that it just drives who we are. As we're standing here in front of the crypts and the tombs, check this out. Isn't that amazing? Check this out, guys. This is St. Michael's Chapel, also known as the Warriors' Chapel. So here's a really interesting thing, guys. Some of those stained glass windows that we saw inside, this is what they look like on the outside. Isn't that incredible? the light from the outside just brings them to life on the inside. So beautiful. So guys, here's one of the original parts of the cathedral. Obviously, some parts of it have held up better than others. So right here, we're actually going to go into the Dean's School, the King's School at Canterbury. This is an actual school that students attend. These buildings all around here house their classes. I mean, could you guys imagine attending school at a place like this? I mean, I know we love River Heights, but wouldn't this be incredible? Again, this is inside the King's School. So guys, remember I told you the students are actually going to school here while we're here. And they go to school in suit and tie. They have school uniforms and their dress uniforms, suit and tie. And it's very, I know you guys wouldn't like it, but I think it's a great idea. So, but that's just me. You guys know I'm a little odd anyway, huh? So, again, we're inside. Well, we're actually outside, but we're here at the Canterbury Cathedral and the King's School at Canterbury. And maybe this is a tradition we can start at River Heights. We can, have our own little cemetery in the, maybe right there in the quad between D and E buildings. We could do that. Build our own tradition, right? Guys, I really wish you were here with me to see this. I think some of you who aren't that interested in history might actually catch the bug if you just reach out and touch it. Well, guys, we're finishing up our time in Canterbury here.
Here, real quick.
Okay.
We've got like half an hour till we need to be at
No worries. So I'm going to stand out here and talk to you guys for a minute while Mrs. Pass goes in and shops at the Edinburgh Woolen Mill because we like woolen things. So, just some quick impressions of being here in Canterbury. Such a quaint little town. I mean, the little village here is, I mean, you can just feel the history. And the people here were quite nice. And going in through the cathedral and seeing where Edward the Black Prince was buried near St. Thomas, and Henry IV is the only ruler who was buried in Canterbury. And just experiencing this has been just such a blessing for me. Because you guys know how much I love history and how fascinated I am with it. But it becomes something different when you're surrounded by it. It becomes something more. It becomes something more alive. And to be able to reach out and touch stones that are 1,500, that were put in place 1,500 years ago, to walk beside modern stores that are in buildings that are 500, 600, 700 years old, it's so fascinating. It's just great that even with the progress, and by the way, there's a school tour going by right over there. But even with the progress and the modernity that you see, they preserve the history, and it works. It works. To me, it's kind of an indictment on one of the things that we've become fond of doing lately, and that is throwing out the old in favor of the new, when in actuality the new complements the old. It's the continuation of our story, and just because there's a newer way to do something or something new that we can try does not mean that we have to throw the tried and true and historically significant things out just in favor of, oh, this is new. So experiencing it really is very different than reading about it in a book or watching it on a documentary or even a TV show or whatever. So if you get a chance, and it doesn't have to be here, it could be anywhere in the world, maybe the country where your ancestors are from or whatever. If you get the chance, go and explore it, and explore it with an open mind, not with the understanding of, oh my gosh, look how old this stuff is and look how old-fashioned this is and everything. But understand that that's your culture, that's your heritage, that's your story that brought you where you are today. So this is going to be it for today. I may sign back on a little later. We're going to go to a Sherlock-themed pub. I know I'm sitting all the pubs, aren't I? But I may be back on later on tonight, but maybe not. So if not, I'll see you tomorrow when we journey to Oxford and go to Oxford University Library, and we go to the pub, the Eagle and Child, where J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis used to meet up and collaborate. So if I don't see you later tonight, I'll see you tomorrow morning, okay? Love you guys. So, just one more thing about walking here in Canterbury. You come to little places like this, and you almost feel like you're walking in a Harry Potter movie. I mean, look at this little intersection up here with all of these little shops around here. And, I mean, you almost feel like you're in Diagon Alley or something. Isn't that cool? Go down that way. Go down that way. Well, I was going to hold off on filming a little bit, but I wound up at Trafalgar Square, which was named after the Battle of Trafalgar, which is where the Armada, the British Navy, defeated the Spanish Armada. Quintessentially iconic area of London. Look at these buildings. Just fantastic. Just fantastic. Okay, minions. Well, we're here at the Sherlock Pub where we're going to have dinner, but I wanted to show you something right here. They have a recreation of Sherlock Holmes' study from 221B Baker Street. But here's the really cool part. All of this stuff was actually the property of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. How about that? And when Doyle passed away, his family got rid of it, and they just gave it to someone, and that person wound up donating it to this pub, and the pub changed its name and theme to Sherlock, and it has all of that really cool stuff in there. Look at those photographs up there.
Yeah, it's fine.
Isn't that awesome? Okay, well, I'm going to go eat now. Okay? Just thought you guys might be interested in seeing.